first. Okay. Whatever applications that you are actually testing so far, they don't have any user interface. Like that's called headless testing. You don't try to interact with any user interface elements like buttons or text boxes. You simply send a request using some protocol or whatever protocol that is mandated by you. It can be REST or HTTP or SOAP or even RPC, whatever you may be having. So it's all about using a different protocol in all the headless testing. When it comes to UI automation testing, you actually have a user interface. Okay, you don't really try to send any request behind the scenes using Java. Rather, you will write a program that acts like a manual tester, which opens the web application and clicks on it and tries to do whatever that a regular manual tester would do. Okay. So
Okay.
that's typically what. Just a moment. Cancel. That's what is typically done using Selenium. Okay. So when it comes to Selenium, there are different flavors of Selenium. So first, let's try to see how we install one flavor of it. There is a component called a Selenium IDE. There is one flavor called a Selenium IDE, which typically gets installed as an add-on in our Firefox. Let me just open the site and show it to you.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, so if you see, these are the currently the popular choices of Selenium flavors. One is Selenium WebDriver, and another one is Selenium IDE. But anyway, Selenium IDE is very limited in terms of what you can do with it, but it helps you understand or begin understanding what Selenium can do for you. Okay, so
Okay.
let's just install Selenium IDE, and if you come down to this section, you will have a Selenium IDE link, and when you click it, your Firefox typically asks you to install something. And by the way, the Selenium IDE can only be installed on Firefox at this point of time.
Okay. No other browser it supports.
No, it doesn't support in recording like Selenium IDE execution on this browser, but it helps us to create some scripts that can be executed in other browsers, but that's for later.
Okay. Selenium is like was created by Firefox company.
I'm sorry, can you say it again?
Like Selenium tool was founded by with from.
No, it has nothing to do with Firefox. It's mostly the choice the developers of Selenium made because the Firefox
Okay.
was a popular browser then, and Firefox allows developing uh, add-ons in such a way that they can use this develop the Selenium IDE on it. They have developed for it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so because it is working fine, they haven't bothered to develop for other browsers. So whatever the reasons may be, uh, we have Selenium IDE only working for Firefox. Okay.
Firefox.
Uh, there are other things that we can do, like exporting that scripts, whatever that have been recorded using this, and run them on other browsers. But as I said, we will see that part later.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So after installing, you may be seeing an icon like this. If you are not seeing, most probably you might have hidden that icon. So try to go to customize and add that icon from your extension somewhere. Depends on your Firefox browser.
Okay.
So just make sure that you have that this icon, whatever that you are seeing over here. Okay.
Sure.
So is there a So then there is an icon over here, so that you should be able to follow through. Okay. When you click that icon, okay, when you click that icon, a new window opens up like this. Okay. So this is called as Selenium IDE. What we can do with this, okay, typically we can record some scripts and playback. Most possibly if you had heard about automation or testing tools, that's what you might have heard about, right? First thing that you hear
Yeah.
about testing tools is you can record and playback. Yeah, you can record and playback, so they have their own limitations. They don't apply for all the situations, but as I said, it helps us understand the basic flow of how the things go. Okay, so it's only learning purposes. Don't think you can use this in your project.
Okay.
So, like even if you suggest this, they will think you're mad or something because this is so limited. You will understand why.
Okay.
So now, to actually test this, okay, what do we like? What exactly can we see over here? There is a file menu where we can. It gives us option to create new test case, open a new test case, etc. So, or if there is an existing test case saved somewhere on the computer, we can browse that. Test suite, you might have already got familiarity with what a test suite is. Test suite is a combination of multiple tests.
Yep.
We can do the same things. We can edit some things. I'll show you what. We can do certain actions. Currently, it is in record mode. First, before I try to explain, etc., let me just go through. Let me just create a quick recording. I'll show you what actually happens. Okay. So
Okay.
I'm just taking this browser URL and putting it over here.
Mm-hmm.
So when this button is pressed in a pressed mode like this, you will be able to record scripts. What exactly I mean by recording scripts? I mean like this. When I enter, and then let me just click some buttons over here and see if it is recording or not.
Okay.
Now, do you see what actually happened over here? Okay, it has several commands that are listed. If you observe them over here, you should be able to see that hyphen hyphen span on click 4. What did I type here? I typed 45, and then I typed multiplication, and then I typed 36,
Ah,
and then I clicked equals symbol, right? So
equals.
it kind of tried to observe what actually I have been doing on that computer on the other browser windows, and it is recording them in a sequence in which I am operating in. Okay.
Okay.
So that's what a Selenium IDE typically does. But for our testing to be able to be, for us to be able to do proper testing, we should be testing something, right? Okay, it's not just doing the operations and leave it as is. Okay, how do we test the calculator application? We check whether it is multiplying properly or not. We add two numbers and try to see if we are getting proper values or not. For
Mm-hmm.
negative test cases, you try to enter very large numbers and try to multiply both of them and see how that application is behaving. Okay.
Okay.
So it varies based on the test case. It varies. So let's just call this test case a simple test case.
Okay.
Simple multiplication test. Okay, so now what I have to do, I have to test something now. Okay, so along with the commands that it has recorded, if I click on these commands, it actually shows those values, whatever that it has used. Target means the object. Okay, okay, but I should explain something for you before I say heard what target is. Everything that you see on the screen that you can interact with is a target. I'm sorry, is an object. Okay,
Okay.
so this button is an object, like how the class objects are there in Java for you, like how you are instantiating
Mm-hmm.
the objects. You can everything that you see on the screen that you can interact with is an object. This 6 is an object. Okay, the Airtel digital TV icon is an object. Though you may not be able to do achieve anything, even if you click on that, it is still an
Okay.
object on which you may be able to do something. Calculator.net, this text is also an object. Okay, so even if you click on it, you nothing happens, right? You cannot type there, and you cannot do anything, but still it's an object. Why? We'll see.
Okay.
And even the screen that it is where it is showing the value, that is also an object. Okay, so now let's try to understand what exactly is the command column. Command column is simply telling what actually happened. Okay, we open the browser, we open that page, and then whatever is in the base URL gets opened over here. Let's stop it first, stop the recording first, so that it doesn't record anymore. Otherwise, if I had clicked on any of those buttons, etc., it may have recorded those things. Because I haven't clicked on any of those things, it didn't record.
Okay.
So what exactly does the command say? This is a click. Okay, this is an open. It's quite obvious, right? You don't have much to complain about. Let's say we have this enabled, and then let's say type something over here. Okay, say mortgage, and click search. It opened up a new page. Whether it gave the results or not doesn't matter. But if you see, it has some other things over here now. Okay, it said type, and then it said click and wait. Okay, what exactly does it? It's quite readable, right? When I type for mortgage, the
Yeah.
value, whatever value I typed, is in the mortgage value, and the target is the object in which I typed. Somehow it has named the object, the text box, as name equals to q. Okay, I'll show you how it did. We'll go to that in a bit. And then the
Okay.
command is type. Okay, so now if we try to say, so now what we have done, we have just simply executed these things. Let's try to play back this. Let's save the test case first. Okay, I saved it over there. Let me just go there and see what actually is saved. Dropbox. It saves it as a HTML file. Okay, so if we open this HTML file, now if you see, it simply stores them as a table. Okay, you don't really have to understand how exactly it is storing, how exactly it is retrieving back. But what you have to see is, when you save a test case, it is simply saving it in a table, in a HTML table. So how and what is not really a big concern for us, because we don't really try to go and edit these manually. Okay, but it's good to know that it is storing the command in one column, it's storing the target in one
Action.
column and value in another
Mm.
column. Did you say something, Hitesh?
No, I told command and action, but
Yeah,
the
yes, exactly,
terminology used is target.
exactly. There is no command and action. There is only command. There is a target, and then there is value.
Target.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now let's come back to this, and let's just click this. Okay, play current test case and see what happens. And let's minimize this. You might have missed the action because I was busy in minimizing these things. So let's just make it slow so that the tests run a bit slower, so that we have time. Now it is opening the calculator.net, and then it is typing 45, and then it multiplied, and then it typed mortgage and clicked search, and there we go. We see the results. Okay. So
Okay.
now what actually happened? Can you correlate something that we did? Like, what is the difference that you have seen from the JUnit automation and the Selenium automation? Can you what can you say about it?
One basic difference I found is we can actually see the output here in front of us so that we are confident that what we are doing is right.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
That is one thing which I really made a difference. And other thing is we are not like in now in this test which we did, we are not using any Java related stuff.
Mhm.
Maybe it is a simple test, that's why simple functionality to test.
Yeah.
Uh,
And anything more?
I think we basically test the like sending request and from like if every fields are we can test easily if every fields of the UI is working properly, and we can play back and see if it is working fine. Even though we get the details like Selenium IDE that if we click on this button, this operation, like this button is clicked and this operation, this target is there. But we can also play back and see everything is working fine and we are getting the proper result as well.
Right. So the primary difference is the user interface. You are directly interacting with the user interface here, whereas in your other automation for REST or something like other automation, you are not actually interacting with user interface. Why do you think we need that other automation then? If we can directly interact we can directly use Selenium here. Why do we need that other kind of automation?
It's like uh, I'm not very sure.
Okay. See, it's simple, right? The applications, whatever they're developing, they don't have the user interface at all. Okay, so
Okay.
that's the intention of how they are developing. Why they are developing a REST service? Because they don't really care about user interface. Maybe there is another application in your mobile which is actually sending the REST request and getting responses and showing the data in one format. And when you open that application in in your computer, that is sending the request and response and showing it in a completely different format. But the underlying service, whatever giving the data to these two applications, is same, right? So in many places, what they generally do, they try to build that core first. Okay, that API, be it REST or be it RPC or be it any other protocol, they try to build that core API.
Mhm.
Okay, so irrespective of how the user interface is behaving or developed, that core API functions always the same way, in the same, always in the same fashion. Okay, so how do you test that particular core before that user interface is built?